We're going to do a quick little review of our lamb sheep fencing that we got this year. This is from Premier One. This is their, I believe it's like Intellishock 60. I think that's what this one is. So this was like a kit that comes on their website. And it comes with one roll. So if you see here, this is one roll. And it wraps around, it's 100 feet to one over there, and then we bought an additional roll to go with it. And the two rolls, that's 200 linear feet. And this summer we had 5 sheep in here at one time. Right now we just have 3. And when there was 5, it was about every other day I had to move them. With 3, I could probably go every 3 days, but I'm still doing every other day, sometimes every 2 days. So keep that in mind, and obviously the richness of your grass will minimize or maximize that time, depending on how much nutrients are in there for them. Like for example, and we have a spot in our field where it gets really, really wet. So we have a lot of crabgrass that grows through there and grows really, really fast, and they love it, but it's not very dense and thick in there, so they fly through it. They're usually done with it in a day and a half, and I have to get out really early the next day to get them moving right away because they've ran through all the grass. And right now they're moving through the grass pretty decent. So if you don't have the ability to move your sheep every couple days, you're definitely going to need more rolls and probably less sheep in there. So luckily for us, I have the flexibility to make sure I'm out here, every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm moving the sheep. And for example, right now I moved them yesterday. I'm going to move them again just now, and I'm probably going to have to do it right away on Sunday again, just because the poor quality of grass in here. So it is definitely a time commitment, but I believe you can hook onto this unit. This is the 60. So I think there's it's like 30, 60, and then like a 120 or something like that. I'm not sure on the numbers, but this is like a mid-level unit, and you can have up to 4 of these rolls on this unit for the netting. But you could actually hook this up to just a normal wire netting like a lot of people have for like cows and whatnot, and surprisingly it will do over 1,000 linear feet, which I thought was pretty impressive for the unit. And yeah, it's something we got this year to move our sheep in, because last year I did with cattle panels, moving those 16-foot panels, and that was a nightmare. So we decided to up it to this, and this being our first year with it, there's definitely quite the learning curve on how to use it efficiently. I will say in the open fields it worked great and awesome, and even like in a setup like this where I'm turning the corner, and they're in like a low grass. This is actually probably one of our worst patches of grass on the property. This is great for turning corners, or if you have to kind of create a weird shape for whatever reason. And in the open field down over there, it works super well, super quick, pretty fast and efficient. But when we get back in the farther part of the property and where the trees and grass are kind of mixed in, I did have a lot of difficulty navigating where there was a decent amount of tree coverage. So in my experience so far, open field work or swinging around corners or strange shapes, this is awesome. But if you have any kind of tree coverage you're working around, it was kind of a pain in the butt, especially when I moved them with the sheep in. If we were to continue using this, what I'd probably do is buy 1 or 2 more rolls and then just hook up those while they're in this pen currently, and hook those up and then push them into the next one and then close this one off and then take it down completely. Because right now what I have to do, I have to inchworm it, moving the poles up and keeping the fence up so they don't run out while I'm moving it. Other than that, it's been great. It is kind of a longer process than I thought it would be to move them with them in the pen. But again, like I said, if you got another 1 or 2 rolls and then you use it to kind of funnel them into another section, it would be a lot quicker. Another cool thing that comes with the kit is replacement wiring. So in caps. So if you damage the wire like I did, using the weed whipper a little too close to it, trying to always kill 2 birds with 1 stone, smeared it up pretty good, and I broke another spot on the other side too, and it's still running well, which is great. So once I'm done with it for the season, theoretically I will repair this and I have all the wires for it, which is awesome. So I'm just going to patch in a wire here and it'll be working just as well. And I mean, it still works just fine, but it definitely needs to be fixed. So that's another cool thing about buying the kit, is it gives you everything you need to set up with, and it was really easy to set up. I'm sure you can see in the footage. And super simple to use. I mean, Sarah uses it, so.
Hey.
It also does come with a tester, so you can always test to see how hot your fence is, which is important. One of the things that a lot of people have problems with these fences, because of the netting, there's a lot more ground contact, so you can't have the grass super high. So right now, like I said, they're actually in a really low grass area. This is probably some of the worst grass on the property, so hopefully bringing them through here will help bring up the quality over time. But if you have tall grass or weeds, you're gonna have to weed whip them or run a 4-wheeler down and mat them down really well, because that will kill all the electricity off this fence. So the fence is now hot. I'll show, this is pretty sweet. And this will show your voltage, which right now it's not showing me my voltage. And this will show you your voltage. That's kind of weird. Okay, psych. Just kidding. So I will say, this is one thing I would say is about this tester. If the batteries in this seem to die extremely fast. I've already replaced it 3 times this summer. So I'm actually really surprised that it seems to be dead again. I'm not sure why it runs to the battery, and they're 9 volts too, so. Oh, that's so weird. Changed my mind. I hate this product. Just kidding. Actually, I actually like it a lot, but I probably will have to invest into a nicer one of these, to be honest, because I can't be replacing these batteries every 3 to 4 weeks. But typically, this would come up like 4.2 to 6.8, somewhere in there is the typical range. I did get it, I think it almost hit 8 once, which is 8,000 kilowatts, which will definitely make sure you're alive. It gives you a nice little jolt. Our dog won't come anywhere near it, which is quite annoying because she's our herding dog, and she's terrified of this fence now. But this system's sweet. The battery for the solar panels right inside here. It's all encompassed. It is working, so I just got a little jolt just now. You have your positive, negative hookups over here, and your ground. So it just stakes into the ground. I can turn it off and show you. So in the bottom, it just stakes straight into the ground, and there's two different options on these two. So if you have soil like we do, or if you have really rocky soil, there's different prongs that you can choose on which one what kind of ground you'll be working in. And this is the one for like just typical black soil. So that goes in, and that will ground it there. And then you have your negative charge that hooks to the fence, and that sends the electricity through the net and keeps these little sheepers in line. So we will continue to use this, but it wasn't the time saver we were hoping it was for. It's definitely better than what we were doing. But I think what we're going to end up doing is our main field, we're going to wire the whole field and save us a ton of time, and basically come out with sections to rotate them through. Hopefully we'll be able to do that this next spring, but we'll see. So either way, we'll still have this, and we'll probably use this to separate our ram, and we'll move him around the front part of the property, which will be a little challenging having them mixed in. But this is going to be, even if we get that whole field wired up, this is still a great purchase because it gives us options. And that's one thing we learned with this lifestyle, is you should always give yourself options. It's the reason why we have 3 chicken coops, is we need to have options to be able to move and switch things around. And same thing with our sheep. Certain times of year, certain sheep shouldn't be near each other. They need to be separated. And having this will give us that flexibility that we need without adding too much stress to our day.
Yeah. I'm gonna put that in there.
Please don't.
You are such a nerd. Oh my gosh. In 5, 4.
This is not a world premiere of a music video. You didn't say 2 or 1.
You wouldn't say 2 or 1.
Why not?
You just don't, okay?